move, the ones we have listed in the description box below: NIO, Bank of America, CYCN, MDRX, and much more. So if you've just joined us, we are covering the stocks in the move at the moment. So we'll just begin with the earnings outcomes of Goldman Sachs that was released to the market or to the public today, the 14th of October 2020. Okay, let's see what it has up here. Nothing up here. The financial summary: third quarter net revenues is $10.78 billion. Third quarter year to date is $32.82 billion. Net earnings, that is $3.62 billion. And earnings per share is $9.68. Annualized return on earnings is 17.5%. And book value per share is $229.49 for the third quarter. Okay, return on tangible. This is the return on tangible common shareholders equity. So they have it at 18.6%. For the third quarter year to date is 8.5%. Okay, the highlights: the firm's quarterly results reflected strong revenues, net revenues of $10.78 billion, a record quarterly diluted earnings per share of $9.68, and an annualized return on earnings of 17.5%, the highest quarterly return on earnings since 2010. Investment banking generated net revenues of $1.97 billion, including the second highest quarterly net revenues in equity underwriting. The firm ranked number one in worldwide announced and completed mergers and acquisitions worldwide, equity and equity-related offerings, common stock offerings, and initial public offerings for the year to date. Global markets generated quarterly net revenue of $4.55 billion, reflecting continued strength in fixed market income, currency and commodities, and equities. Asset management generated a quarterly net revenue of $2.77 billion, reflecting strong performance in equity investments. Consumer and wealth management generated quarterly net revenues of $1.49 billion, reflecting net revenues in consumer banking and continued strength in wealth management. The firm maintained a highly liquid balance sheet. In addition, the standardized common year Tier 1 capital ratio increased 120 basis points during the quarter to 14.5%. Okay, this is the disclosure, the Form 8 disclosure they filed with SEC this morning, the 14th of October 2020. So let's go ahead and have a look at what's going on here and see what the folks on the street are saying. So in the pre-market, it is up 2.18%. Track today's top gainers. Okay, so advertising something else there. Expected moves for this week versus actual moves since Monday morning. Okay. On by Goldman Sachs for entrepreneurship. Okay, this is a chat mail advert. Okay, there's a lot of promotion here, I think. Rapidly increasing the number of bulls. Okay, let's leave that and have a look at the charts of Goldman Sachs. Let's see what has happened of late on over so far this year to the chart of this equity. Okay, so we will include the link to that disclosure for you to read and digest. So this is what happened. When was this? When did this decline start? This was the from February of this year. It started to decline, and also struggled to come back up. You can see the sharp gaps. The sort of things that can happen in the pre-market, but. Okay, as at March, which was March 23rd, which was about the time most equity had their bottom. It also experienced the same, but it has continued to progress and has traded between the range of 178 and 221, 178 and 221 since the 21st of May up till now. So it's gradually making progress. And has never really been overbought apart from sometime in January. That was when it was, but all along, even during the summer. Well, indeed, we know that the financials have not really benefited so much from the rally that occurred during the summer. That was mostly the tech stocks that benefited. But indeed, a lot of the financial institutions, some of the banks also have consumer equity trading or retail trading arms, and most of them benefited. And you can see Goldman Sachs isn't one of them. It doesn't have sufficient exposure to equity trading for the public, and it didn't benefit so much in as much as it had fairly decent outcomes, but it did not benefit from the fear of missing out by most people who were at home. People like you and I who were at home and had to keep on trading, trading the markets. Even those who had never traded before, those who had done so in a long time, they all sat down to start trading. They didn't really benefit that much, unlike JP Morgan and Bank of America. Bank of America, they benefited a lot, and it's also one of the equities we're covering this morning. So we'll just quickly go and have a look and see what's going on with Bank of America. So the market is going to open in a 15 minutes time, the market in New York. So let's see. We may have a little bit of news here as well. Okay, let's see. It says any news concerning Bank of America. Okay, it's saying U.S. futures were little change ahead of Wednesday's opening bell amid continued uncertainty surrounding the next round of COVID-19 stimulus in the U.S. while traders digested more bank earnings, the Q3 earnings season picked up pace. Okay, there's nothing there really. Okay, there are a few stocks that are moving in the market. Okay, we'll also include them so that we can cover them for you. NOVN. Okay, yeah, some news here. On the losing side, Bank of America shares slipped 1.9% after the company posted lower Q3 results. Okay, so even with their exposure to equity trading and consumer banking, they still didn't meet the expectations. Maybe the expectations were too high for them. That's why they probably didn't meet them. So you can see what's going on in the market, and the market's slightly down. These are what's going on right now. The market is not trading yet, but for some reason they are quoting the current price, the current figures in the market. So it closed at 249, but it's currently trading at 24.40. Let's see what it says here on stock tweets. That's not bad relative to current environmental valuation. BAC, that's like 5 mattresses. Are you one of the bulls who could fight for everything to make this market good enough? Looks like the market is at the peak of success, keep pushing bulls. Okay. So what we're seeing right now is in the pre-market, it's yes, it's down 1.42%. You can see this figure. If you remove this from here, you will have 2.4 and some fraction, which is also what we have here. Okay, 2.40 there. So that's what's going on there. So the chart is likely going to look like what we saw on Goldman Sachs. Okay. Yeah, pretty much. Sideways movements. Consolidation. Been consolidating for some weeks now, some months now. Yes, yeah. And indeed, just like it has not been overbought. Has not been overbought at all. Really, even as a matter of fact, it was nearly going to be oversold. Approaching oversold territory. That was just not long ago, just a few weeks ago. So and indeed, just like you would expect, we saw this decline. When the lockdown, when the market was bottoming out from the lockdown that occurred everywhere. Okay, so the next equity in question will be NIO. So NIO is it's probably had some increase, probably up to 10% increase. Let's see. Yes, we guessed it right. 10.83. My 2p few off because we are moving both. NIO is pulling Tesla up so they can thank us. Some forecast is to be over 100 soon. Good luck, EV plays with a lot of orders. Into a million volume, one to watch. Okay, let's have a look and see what the average volume is for NIO. Let's have an idea. That guy is indicating that 21 million has already been traded. Let's have a look here. We might find it here. The average volume is 83.298 million for the last 10 days, and we don't have the whole float. Shares outstanding is 1.362 billion. Okay, that's a lot of shares. Okay, and so far already we already have 21 million, and the average volume is about okay, this is not working. The average volume is about 83.298, so we're just at 25% of the average volume even before the market opens. Yes, it might get interesting. You know, if yeah, it might get interesting. But if it's having this sort of increase only with 21 million shares, it's an indication that much of that 21 million, if not nearly all that 21 million shares are probably were bought, not sold, because it has this float of 1.36 billion, and 34% of it is held by institutions, which we might presume are not traded often. So that would leave us with 600 something million shares. So, you know, so out of that, we have 20 million that is being traded. You know, that is not a lot. Even the in relative terms, 83 million is not enough. Just shy of just about 10% of okay, maybe call it 12% or 11% of the shares that are freely traded. No, that is freely traded. Yes, since they are the ones that are held by the general public, and indeed some of the insiders. So if you have that and you have 20 million, yes, it just goes to say that there is a good chance that out of that 21 million, this guy here is quoting that yes, indeed they are likely to be stocks that went in the buy direction. Okay. Oh, sorry. We are covering something else. It is not. We're very sorry. He's covering Novan. We're going to cover Novan later on. Okay, so it's not that of NIO. But in any case, though, we're still not out of line, because we have about 600 million shares that are available. And we have this sort of movement. Then there's a good chance that a lot of the shares that have traded so far are probably in the buy direction, and you obviously can see that it's up 10%. Neoman shots must be today. Read my call sells at 24 end of week. Okay, let's try and have a look at the charts and see. Obviously, NIO makes cars. So let's any news? See if there's any news. Okay, these are just the research roundup. NIO might be there. They might have received a price target. NIO, yes. JP Morgan JP Morgan raises to overweight from neutral. Okay, JP Morgan raises targets to $40 from 14. Okay, so these are some of the reasons why the equity is already up. So we quickly have a look at the chart and see. Oh, look at that! You can see. Look at that. Look at that. From the 22nd of May, it has continued to climb unabated. It has continued to climb unabated. So we'll go back and look at how the figures. And even with that, at some point, it also closes, dips below the medium-term trend line. The intermediate trend line, which is the 20-day trend line, and has continued to climb and climb. So, and we have this target of $40 from JP Morgan. So it is not. It's just about which is about nearly 100% premium to what it is trading at the moment. So that's interesting, really interesting. Okay. Let's return to the summary page and have a look and see what's going on. Okay, you can see it's changing. It's now at 33.89. Okay, so let's see how it compares with. Yes, you can see that for 1 year, 1,285.90%. For the last 6 months, it's sitting around 18.27%. For the last 1 month, it's 12.66%. You can see that. Obviously, that graph, that chart says everything about it. Okay, so the next equity is CYCN. We don't exactly have their full names. CYCN is Cylerion Therapeutics. I think, yes, they are down, probably by a huge amount. We'll get up the opinion of the folks here as well. CYCN. Let's see who's on. Cyclerion Therapeutics. Okay, let's see if there's any piece of news here. Okay, Cyclerion Therapeutics was plunging more than 43% after seeing top-line results of a phase 2 study of Olinkigoat did not demonstrate adequate activity support for the clinical development. Okay, so it reported some very bad news. It says here again, announces top-line results from strong SCD study of Olinkigoat, an investigational orally administered once daily vascular SGC stimulator for the potential treatment of sickle cell disease. Okay. So there's also a Form 8 disclosure with the SEC. It also filed, and then there's yet more reports to that effect. In the last 6 months, he has performed quite well. 117.74. What am I saying? Quite well. These days we see, if we see triple-digit gains, it doesn't seem like anything anymore. But this is, way beyond normal, way beyond regular. So Cyclerion Inc. is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company. The company is focused on discovering, developing, and commercializing treatments for serious orphan diseases. The company develops guanylate cyclase stimulators. Okay, so let's quickly have a look at the charts before we move on to the next one. So if you've just joined us, subscribe, like, and share if you have not subscribed already. Thank you for watching. We're just covering the few equities on the move in the markets today. Okay, and the market has just opened now. It's just a minute now. 2 minutes ago that it opened. So what we're looking at right now is the chart of Cyclerion. I can see how it has gradually progressed. What are we going to call this? This is from the 23rd of June. So it was at $7.15 and $30. So this is definitely more than a correction. A correction will normally be about 10%. So this is nearly 100%. 50% decline. And since that time, which many market participants may consider a very good pullback, and you can see it's trading at that point. It was below the intermediate and the short-term trend lines. So the intermediate trend lines, short-term and intermediate trend lines, as the case may be. So, and since that time, it has continued to progress and reach the all-time high for the year, which at that point was $8.39, and has since also pulled back. So it has pulled back. What sort of pullback are we looking at? It does, doesn't it? So $86, which is also a correction. That's a correction as well, and has now started to return up. But this I don't know if this graph, okay, it has not reflected yet. Yes, we're looking at something different. Let's see what this 40% has done to. You can see that. You can see the reason why it has this sharp straight line is because it gapped in the pre-market. A lot of activity occurred in the pre-market. So we are seeing it is trying to retest its lows that it reached during the summer. So that's quite interesting. Okay, the next one will be MDRX. Alpha Script Solution. Alpha Script Healthcare Solution is up 34.66%. Okay, let's see. Alpha Script Healthcare Solutions. You can see that gap as well. You can see this is what happened in the market, pre-market. There might be some news. Okay, for some reason this equity is a penny stock. Yes, you can see the market capitalization. It's a micro cap, but it's in the billions. You can see it's it has a market cap of 1.4 billion. It doesn't really always fall. If you have raised, if your shares are quoted, if you have, they have 163 million shares and they are trading at almost $1, so they will have that sort of valuation. It doesn't exactly also mean that you have raised up to that amount of money, in pursuit of your business. It doesn't always follow that way, So that's some of the anomaly that can occur, that one can see from this sort of figures. You have an equity that is trading, at pennies, not just slightly above $1, yet it's is it what's trading? Okay, sorry, it's not It's not. It's trading above. It's at it's not trading at one of the trading at double digits. Yeah, sorry. Very sorry about that. So got it all mixed up again today. So let's see what the news is. Okay. Allscripts Healthcare Solutions was surging past 34% amid a deal to sell its Careport Health business to Wells Sky Corp for $1.35 billion. So, yes. Okay, that is partly why it's up this much. So what do they do? Allscripts Healthcare Solutions delivers information technology solutions and services to healthcare organizations. The company operates through 30 segments: clinical and financial solutions, population health, and NetSmart. The clinical and financial solutions segment includes the sale of integrated clinical software application and financial information solutions. The population healthcare segment includes the sale of health management and cognitive care solutions, which focuses on hospitals, healthcare systems, other care facilities, and accountable care solutions. Okay, so let's see. Do we have any comparisons here? Okay, for the last 1 year, it's not so well. But for the last 1 month, quite decent, 31.07%. For the last month, it's minus 3.6%. And during that time, the S&P 500 has been up 4.3%. The S&P US Healthcare is up 6.03%. Okay, let's have a look at the chart and see. So it's a micro cap and it's a fairly decent company. It's a serious business. You can see it's trying to sell one of its businesses for a few billions, just a billion and some fraction. You can see that gap as well that has occurred. And so just like most of the other equities, it declined. And this was yes. Okay, it reached its own bottom on the 17th of March. It moved sideways, consolidated from the 30th of March up till the 30th of July, and progressed, consolidated, and what they called consolidated, and so this is 938. Yes, consolidated and corrected, and started to move up again, and was probably complimented for having been below the trend lines, the intermediate and short-term trend lines. So yes, for the best part of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sessions, and has continued to move up. So this sort of position will tell certain market participants that yes, it has corrected. It has turned in below trend lines, short-term trend lines, intermediate trend lines. That this must be a time to buy, and well, it has paid off. It has paid off. You can see this increase here. We're looking at 34.66%. That's updated and 31.41% now. Okay, so let's move on quickly to the next one, MDRR. Okay, oh, look at that. This is up 114.59%. Let's see what MDRR does. MDRR is a medalist diversified and REIT Inc., a real estate investment trust company. So there must be some news concerning MDRR, Medalist. Okay, Medalist diversified real estate investment trust shares more than doubled after its board approved a Series A5 preferred stock cash dividend. Okay, that is what is driving the equity. So its market cap is 5.5 million, which is a micro cap. And also a penny stock as well. So let's see what the chart is saying. So if you just join us, subscribe, like, and share. We are covering the few equities in the market at the moment. So what we're looking at right now is Medalist diversified real estate investment trust. It's up 183.26% this morning already. You can see that gap. This straight line here indicates that some activity occurred. This increase occurred in the pre-market. So, and because this chart doesn't record what's in the pre-market, it will just reflect it will just trace a straight line. So that's what's going on. Just like every other equity declined, in March, February to March, and you can see it's not even its bottom was during just a few weeks ago. It was at $1.01, but it has since reached 3.29%, so $3.29. But also this sort of movement indicates that at this level, there are risks involved, because at this sort of level, at this point where it is trading right now, it is that figure is may be at in that price may be in the third standard deviation range, and if that is the case, then the risk of what happened with this spike, the risk of the reverse, it's very much there. It's the chance that it can happen is there, but we can't exactly conclude that is what the case is, because we have that has to be derived over a specific time frame. So we don't exactly know what it is. So if you're looking at the fact that it's also traded even above this current price, at that time was $4.24. If you add up all these things, then maybe it may not be lying, that this price may not be in its may not be up to its for the 3 standard deviation, and hence the risk might be minimal, but still very risky. Anything that has appreciated by 100% in the equity markets is likely to you have to be careful, because the reverse or something as much can also be the case. Okay, so we'll just quickly move on to the next equity, which is CDEV. CDEV. It's up 9.7%, so it's another penny stock. So okay, it has a micro cap and has market capitalization of 172.6 million, enterprise value of 1.3 billion. So this is probably the equity we had in mind when we said, when we were saying something else. So this, you can see its average share, the shares on outstanding is 278 million, and held by institutions is 68%. So, and that its average volume is 6 million for 10 days. So 70% of 28.7 million is quite a lot. So a lot, just a few, what would I say, about 30 million. 30 million are available, maybe freely available, and then out of that, 6.3% based on the figure from the 30th of September. 6.3% of the entire float is sold short. Not very wonderful, but not too bad. Not very bad. It's an oil and gas consumable company. So let's see it has some ending outcomes. Sentinel announced today that it will report third quarter 2020 financial and operating results after the market closes for trading on November 2nd, 2020. Management will host an earnings conference call on November 3rd, 2020 at 8 a.m. Interested parties are invited to participate in the call by dialing the number you see over there. Okay. So, yes, you can see in the charts there. And do we need to have a look at the charts? Just to be fair enough, we have a look and see. Okay, it has since declined. It had this high of $5 and some fraction. Sometime early this year, 6th of January this year, has since lost all of that. So I'm sure it might be getting a lot of pressure from the SEC concerning, or the NASDAQ concerning its listing. It is quoted on the listed on the NASDAQ. Or probably NASDAQ is just quoting it. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one, which is Gamestop. GME. Okay, Gamestop is up 6.23%. So GameStop is oh my goodness! It says here the short interest is 105.3%. That is fascinating. How does that happen? Short squeezes out of not showing anything. Okay. Can't validate that short interest. Okay, let's see what people are saying here on GME. So while that is coming up, we'll continue to see if we can see any piece of news. So it's currently up 5.14%, no doubt. Okay. JP Morgan triples, what does it say? What is it saying there? Triples is upgrade. Okay, it's not for GameStop. Okay. When I say cover, you say now cover. Here we go. Volume is coming up. People's screens are gonna be pinging in for $15. The shots with big money on the line want to buy GameStop. all the longs with big money are acquiring GameStop. So all the big money wants to buy GameStop. And any retail folks selling now are the dump money and giving their shares to big funds. Up 43% on December calls. Squeeze. I have a feeling we're about to take off, initiate launch sequence. GameStop looking good, slow and steady wins the race. Shots can win at this pace. I'm coming for. Okay, see, that's those shots. They're not. They're probably not out of. They're probably close to what we are seeing there, but. Gap closer on daily chart, it can reap now. So let's return and see whether there's any news on GameStop. Let's look closely here and find out. GameStop is up 5.6%. There's no news. Just okay. Okay. Yesterday when the market closed, I think there was a disclosure. No. I'm wondering why it hasn't opened. Okay, that's it here. What is it saying? Okay, so name of reporting person, Senvest Management LLC. They may have bought some stake. Okay. Yeah, shares voting power 3.6 million. Shares dispositive power. Aggregate amount beneficially owned by each reporting person. Okay, has bought 5% of the class. So that is what's going on. Yes, that is a validation of what some of the folks on stock tweets are saying, that the big money they are coming in for for GameStop. So you can see that. So and with that sort of interest, the people it will it might put pressure on those who are holding the equity short to react. So let's see what's going on in the option speeds for GameStop before we move on to the next equity. So these are some of the these contracts will expire. These options will expire on Friday, the 16th of October 2020. So in 2 days' time. And people tend to have people tend to be interested in what's going on here. I think somebody was saying the 11 call had done some improvements. So this is 0.58. So this is yes, nearly 50%. So the current price is 1.49, and it has added 0.58, which is more than 50%, or rather, yes, close to 50% of thereabout. So that will be, before that happened, it would have been trading at 0.9 and some fraction. No. Yeah, so close to 50% increase. So and that has not, it doesn't have a lot of open interests, not so much compared to these ones, compared to this $112 strike. And look at this $10 strike. It has an open interest of 11,000. So this 11,000, obviously, is you have to multiply that by 100. So we're looking at 1.1 million shares. So this, if they have to be exercised, then we're talking about 1.1 million shares being bought. So, and we have also heard also from market experts that some of the reasons why we are seeing a lot of volatility and spikes in equity prices is because the futures contracts and the options contracts, they are a lot of them have now been now have to be exercised. A lot of them have been exercised of late. So that has because by the time you buy some of these millions of shares, in the you have to exercise them. When you have to become out here alone, you're talking about for this $10 strike, you're talking about 1.1 million shares. Sorry, 1.1 million shares. Even though, of course, okay, yes, 1.1 million shares. Yes, indeed, you have also some of them on the put side, but they are not as much. You can see you have 11,000. Okay, yes, these are the ones that will be exercised. The ones in the money, those are the ones that will be exercised. Can you see there's another 10,000, which is about 1.1 million. So they are saying that these are the reasons why we are seeing some increases in prices. We're seeing spikes because some of these options and the futures contracts have to be exercised. They have the obligation to do that, the necessity, the rights, yes, the compulsion to do that has kicked in a lot of late. So next equity will be Sorrento, SRNE, Sorrento Therapeutics.